name is Skeletor, and I'm encouraging you to watch Pixel Dan's Ultimate Review. You won't regret it.
Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Masters of the Universe Classics, Horde Troopers. That's right, it's the army builder we've long been waiting for. Horde's robot troopers are finally here. The Horde Troopers come packaged in window box packaging, similar to what we've seen in the 2-packs coming out in the past, such as the Eternian Guards and the Snake Men. The back of that box shows off a selection of other figures in the Classics line, gives us an image of the Horde Trooper figures within, and even a brand new bio. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at these guys outside of the box. Now immediately out of the packaging, it's apparent how incredible these figures are. The Horde Troopers have always been a very unique design. They sort of broke the standard mold of most of the vintage action figures, so we knew that the day that these came into Classics, they would have to follow suit in order to be done justice. I can happily report that Mattel and the Four Horsemen did just that. These guys recycle very little parts from other figures, if any at all. And they do a terrific job of capturing that unique armored robot look. The dome-shaped heads feature bright yellow triangular-shaped visors, which are more reminiscent of the vintage toy design rather than the Filmation design, which had smaller yellow eyes. The armor features a unique red Horde logo with a circular shape on the chest. Now, you might remember that the vintage action figure had a circular button that, when pressed, exploded the figure. I think working that circle into this Horde logo was a great way to keep true to that original design without making it look too much like a button. The shape of the armor seen on the Horde Trooper's arms, his legs, his boots, all around the figure are all quite unique and not something we've really seen yet in this line. And the paint job is very clean and well done. The light gray armor has a nice silver highlighting in many areas to help bring out all of the details of the sculpt. While both figures share the same sculpt, there is a slight difference in the paintwork. One Horde Trooper is clean, while the other is slightly battle damaged, featuring black blaster marks on the front of his armor, the back of his armor, and even on the back of his head. This helps add a little bit of variety to the troops, and what I like is that those small blaster marks aren't too intrusive to the overall look. They really help just add a little bit more character to it. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at the Horde Troopers, shall we? One thing that is really great about both of these guys is they're pretty much brand new. I mean, everything about these guys is pretty phenomenal and stuff that we haven't really seen on a Masters of the Universe Classics action figure before. So, let's go ahead and run down the articulation first and foremost, and then we'll take a closer look at a lot of this. Now, both of these guys, of course, are identical. Same figure. The only differences, of course, are the paint markings that I pointed out. So, we'll just go ahead and grab this guy here, and we'll show you the articulation. The head is on a ball joint, just like all the other figures. It is sculpted a little different, of course, because of the way the helmets are shaped, but you can see it's exactly the same as before. It kind of rolls around, up, down, you can move it left, you can move it right. Functions the same as all the other heads. You got the nice ball joints at the arms. The armor that they're wearing does not hinder the articulation at all. You can still move the arms forwards, backwards, up, down. You got swivels at the biceps there. You've also got swivels above the elbow joint, huh? How about that? Double swivel there. You got a standard elbow joint also that allows movement up and down. The armor on the bottom does hinder it just a little bit, but not so bad. I mean, you really wouldn't bend the arm more than that anyway. You got swivels at the wrists there. You've got the standard torso crunch, which you can see still moves his body up and down even though he's wearing the armor. You can, of course, swivel him at the waist, left and right. The crotch piece, you can see the way they designed it. It's not a new crotch piece. It's actually just almost kind of like a little skirt like we've seen with the female characters, just over the normal crotch piece there. But it works really well, and it's soft and flexible, so it functions well. You can get the Horde Troopers in a sitting pose. You can move the legs outwards. You can swivel them there. They also swivel at the knees. They bend at the knees. These knee joints are great. They're like hidden knee joints. They are underneath the armor. I mean, that is really, really cool. So you can swivel it, you can bend it. Nice, tight, hidden knee joints there. That serves as the boot cut articulation as well, basically, that swivel at the knee, since they don't bend below that. And then we just have the standard ankle joints, which allow the ankles to move up and down. Very tight, as you can see. Very tight, which is great because these guys stand very good on their own. They also have bigger feet, but they're Horde Trooper feet, so I guess that's why they're a little bit wider than we normally see. So, great range of articulation on this guy. All the joints are nice and tight. As you can see, he's got no problem standing, which is phenomenal. These guys are great. And talking about all these like new parts that are on here, I mean the hands, the arms, all these armor bits, so much new stuff going on here. Now, they're wearing armor like we've seen with all the other Masters Classics figures. That's how we've kind of recreated the Horde Trooper look here. So let's go ahead and pull that off. You can just pop it off like all of the standard armor. It's kind of the same soft rubbery we've seen before. You actually don't even have to remove the head. You can slide it off right over the head. And this is what's really great and something I totally wasn't expecting. Brand new torso. Look at this. He's got a nice Horde Trooper style robot torso under there. That is incredible. There's even some paint detail. Little red wires that are going up to the helmet there. Incredibly cool. I think that's like an extra effort that they took on these guys. They could have just given them the normal muscular buck on there, the torso, and they didn't. We got a cool robot torso. And it's interesting thinking about what this might be reused for in the future. Huh? Pretty cool stuff. Now, of course, heads are removable on these guys. They're very tight. I will point that out. Look, you can see I got to put a lot of pressure to pop it off, but it's possible. Hear that? Nice tight joint there. Same standard ball joints. They're just a little tighter than normal, but you can pop them off. And what's really cool about this is you can remove these heads, and you can add on some other heads from your Masters of the Universe Classics collection.
Mixing and matching heads with these figures is a ton of fun, and allows you to recreate some famous scenes from the Secret of the Sword movie. For example, you can display He-Man in a Horde Trooper disguise. Or my personal favorite, you pop a Hordak head on there, and you've got yourself baby Adora-stealing Hordak. Baby not included, of course. Another awesome thing about these Horde Troopers is that they are loaded with accessories. First up, they include these red staffs just like the vintage action figures. They are molded in red with some metallic red highlights and feature a cool dragon design on the top. In addition, both also include this large Horde bat shield. Just like the staffs, they feature nice metallic red highlights. The clip on the shield is on the right side, so they fit best on the left hand, but you can still make it work on the right hand for some nice opposite posing between the two. To go along with the classic Horde theme, they also include their very own crossbows. These crossbows are black with some nice red detailing along with a yellow triangle shape on the front that resembles their visors. And lastly, they come with these shock rod weapons straight out of the Filmation She-Ra series. These are done in a metallic silver color and even have little buttons sculpted on them. With a full armory of weapons like this, you'll be able to mix and match these parts for a number of different ways to display your Horde Troopers. Alright guys, it's comparison time. Here's a look at the brand new Horde Trooper standing alongside his vintage counterpart. Here you can notice the similarities between the two designs and how wonderfully they were updated for the Classics line. So there you go, gang, a look at the Masters of the Universe Classics Horde Troopers. These were quite important in the She-Ra cartoon series as a disposable villain for She-Ra and the Great Rebellion to mow down. It's great having these guys to up the ranks of your evil horde on your collection shelf, and I can imagine that many will be buying multiple packs of these to build a grand army. They are designed more like the vintage toy rather than the Filmation version, but there really wasn't too much of a difference between the two designs. The Filmation version was actually a bit more simplistic, so I do enjoy that all of the extra details from the vintage toy made the cut on the Classics version here. With an excellent range of articulation, a ton of new parts with great paint, and a massive armory of weapons, these guys are a total win across the board in my book. And since they have the army building appeal, I have no doubt that these will end up being among the most popular figures in this line yet. The Horde Troopers are part of the 2013 Club Eternia subscription and will also be available on MattyCollector.com on October 15th, 2013. Until next time,